I've decided this right in here needs a little more light colors and texture. So, and the shadow will show better if I lighten this corner up right here. And the shadow from the brush will show up better. I knew I was going to lighten it some, but I just hadn't gotten around to it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a very precise painter. I like to have some brush strokes showing. So that's what we're doing. Recoloring the shape a little bit. And when I get through, I will go back over with that green spiral, and it'll really show up. This color I'm using is the pink, ultramarine blue, and the alizarin crimson, alizarin red, mixed with white. That's how I got this color. Enough purple. I put the shadows in around these shapes again when I get through with this. Take some patience to be an artist. Okay. Well, that shows up a little bit better. Doesn't have to scream at you, but it needs to show up better. You notice as we change the color values right in here, this began to show up better. Now this is. I think the yellow was bright enough to show up on some, but I'm going to have to make a correction there like I did in the other side. Is to get rid of a pencil mark, I'll just have to put a lot of thick paint right there. Nobody would know if you don't tell them that I finger paint when it's necessary. We'll put the paint on there real thick. Okay. Now the bottle will be glazed over, like I said earlier, as soon as everything is really good and dry. I like what happened in here. In this area, it still needs something. So I'm going to go into a light blue area and just kind of mess with it a little bit. Like I said, it's going to be showing behind the bottle a little bit. I don't want to paint over it completely. I just want to kind of do some blending with the colors, and it's make it an even more beautiful shade of blue in contrast with what's going on around it. When you see these paintings on the wall and you see texture, it's just more interesting, like I said before. I try not to show any of the white canvas. That's what they call showing the teeth. The white teeth, the raw canvas. We want to be sure the lines get close enough to cover it. I know some of the newer artists, it's not that important to them because they may on purpose not paint part of the canvas, just leave it, but I guess I'll go stick with what I've been doing and cover it till someone convinces me otherwise that it's better to change my mind. So I have worked with just nearly everything on here, and I'm pretty happy with it, except for this area right in here and this. So let me see what we can do. If I let a shadow, put a shadow in here from this book, we could let this become like a shadow color and take it in right here and make it that shade, and then even darken the blue a little bit where it's maybe that's the wall over there. It'd be casting a shadow, and that'd make that book even stand out more. So that was what I was thinking, and I think that's the thing to do, is just go ahead, go with the flow, and make a dark color that's showing through. I'm going to try to repeat that right in here, and just go ahead and make it part of the shadow. Pretty close to that color. Excuse me. All we're doing is make it look good and have it to make sense for being there. So I put my ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson red together. Came up with this color. But this in here, starting about by here, that will be cast as a darker blue, because that block of blue is right there. So naturally, it will be darker. I'm tempted to use the dark part of the dark color right here as the shadow. And that which would reach all the way across over here about to where this line would come up. To imagine where it would be. So just to make it easier on me, I am going to actually paint this in as the shadow. Red and blue shadow, the purple shadow. Messed up the red a little bit. Now there's a reason for that to be there. And I'm going to bring it all the way over here to the shadow line here. Now what I have to do is use your imagination. This is the shadow cast from behind the book. It's because the light's over here. And the light maybe it looks like it's kind of low. It would cast the shadow back. And now I have to get back in there and quickly try to get some of this blue out and correct the red. It's very dry. Okay, so I'll get the dark red out again. Crimson red. Sometimes sometimes I get lost. I have so many different tubes and bottles of paint. I've separated my oil paint by the most part. I've separated from the oil so I won't get confused. And I know what I'll be using today. So we need the red to cover up. And I think we need to paint that up there anyway. Just a little bit of the red. To cover up where I made a mistake right there. And you know what, that was light red to begin with. Right now it's crimson red to help hide that. If it looks too dark later, I'll come back with a lighter shade of red. Let's see how it's going to look. Sometimes we make a little mistake. We don't call it a mistake. We do something we are not too pleased with, and we cover up. So we don't always have to tell what we do, as long as the results are pleasing. Covering the edge of the painting as we go. At least we don't have to buy frames. It saves a lot of money. As much as I paint, I turn out a painting at least every 2 days. When I get in one of these painting moods, I paint quite a bit. So, or sometimes maybe one a week. I'm always painting. Now I need to let everything get dry and come back and glaze the bottom to see what it's going to look like. Have a good day.